I don't believe that the new animated series called The Bad Batch will just be about the Bad Batch of clones that we met at the start of Season 7 of The Clone Wars. I instead believe that this show will focus on something just ever so slightly different. I do of course believe it will follow the actual Bad Batch throughout the story, but I also think that the title refers to something different in terms of the clones and what happens to them after Order 66. This show is set between the end of the Clone Wars with Order 66 and A New Hope. So what we're going to see is basically the rise of the Empire. It's not an uncommon era currently in Star Wars. We've seen many things in this era. Now, everyone's been thinking that it's a bit strange that this show is going to be centered around 5 characters that we met in 4 episodes only of the Clone Wars. It would be strange if all we saw was these 5 characters going through their lives for however many seasons this show is meant to go. And I agree, that would be a very strange decision. The Bad Batch are very popular, but then don't seem popular enough to warrant a whole series based on them. I feel it would be an interesting story to see the Bad Batch maybe hunting Jedi down, or how the Bad Batch reacted to Order 66. I definitely believe the start of the series and most of Season 1 will be about the Bad Batch and how they react to Order 66. But I think the show is going to take a turn either in the middle of the first season or near the second season. I believe that the Bad Batch likely don't have normal inhibitor chips. I believe they still would have carried out Order 66, and I think we'll see a lot of them, I guess, hunting Jedi down and probably killing some Jedi. But I think at some point they will take a turn, and their goal will become to, I guess, liberate some clones. I think we'll see their story change the way that Rex's did. Rex got Gregor and Wolf and took them away from everything. He was able to take their inhibitor chips out. I think the Bad Batch will be doing similar things with the clones that we know. And what this will mean is that the show won't just be about the Bad Batch. The show will be about all of the clones. What happens to them after their use has been finished. The Clone Wars are over, the Jedi are exterminated. The clones end up getting decommissioned. How do the clones react to that? We might see episodes based on Commander Cody. What did he do? He followed the order. Does he feel any regret over it? Do the clones after Order 66 suddenly feel this dread that they've done something wrong? I think the show will explore the clones' reaction to both the rise of the Empire and also what they just did during Order 66. While the Bad Batch will likely be the center of this conflict, it would be foolish not to see the other clones reacting. It'd be great to see these clones getting older. We know that their age is boosted by about double, hence why Rex is an old man by the time of Star Wars Rebels. So we'll see the clones getting physically older. We'll see them mentally getting older. We'll see half of them maybe training Imperials, after they're decommissioned, becoming officers. The other half trying to live out their lives as regular people. But how do people that are bred to be soldiers live normally? The climax of the show could even be both of these sides of the clones almost entering a civil war. The half that stayed loyal to the Empire going against the half that now see them as being wrong. And the Bad Batch could be the fire that starts this civil war. If a bunch of clones join the rebellion, including the Bad Batch, we could see them going up against the ones that stayed loyal to the Empire. This could be a massive thing for clones. We could see clones in the rebellion era now going against each other. This would be both heartbreaking knowing what happened in the Clone Wars, but also extremely interesting. How do these clones that have always had some sort of authority figure controlling their thoughts now getting to make their own decisions? How do people who are genetically identical make different decisions based on their experiences? We could see a commander like Cody completely staying loyal to the Empire because that's how his experiences, I guess, shaped him. He was under Obi-Wan, and in that battalion, Cody was always loyal. But then you could look at a character like Wolf, and Wolf, well, he was under Plo Koon, and while he was very loyal to Plo Koon, he definitely had that thought ingrained that he was allowed to make his own decisions because of the Jedi leadership. conflicts between clones' ideologies will be extremely interesting because, like I said before, they are genetically identical. And it could explore so many themes of how can people that are basically the same make different decisions. And that's what I believe will be the centerpiece for this show. Rather than the Bad Batch in particular, it'll be almost like all clones are part of a now Bad Batch, since the Empire has discarded them as such. I think the whole show will be centered around how different clones react to the rise of the Empire. We'll see clones we know, we'll see clones we don't. And we'll see them through the process of the rise of the Empire, we'll see them through the process of Order 66, and we'll understand a deeper meaning of what happened to the clones after Episode 3. It'd be great to see this, because in Star Wars we've just sort of accepted that the clones were there until the end of the Clone Wars, and then Stormtroopers took over. It sort of just happened, to the point where a lot of people believed that the Stormtroopers were the clones, and I don't blame them. Their armor looks very similar, and it's never really explained that there was a switchover. People just thought that the clones were an explanation for what the Stormtroopers were, which may or may not have been what they were originally intended to be. This show could be a really fascinating look at who the clones are, what the clones do, sort of like the Clone Wars, but suddenly removing that element of the war. In the Clone Wars we hear it so often that the clones were bred for war and they feel what would happen after the war. They're always questioning that, and now we'll get to see it, and we'll get to see how those clones react to it. Now, I do want to say at the end of this video, this is just a theory, it's a thought. I believe it would be strange for it to just be based on the Bad Batch, but it very well could be. It could be just them hunting Jedi, it could be them staying loyal to the Empire. This whole story that I've talked about now, it could be the opposite. Instead of the Bad Batch going against the Empire and building a rebellion, it could be them staying loyal to the Empire and fighting the rebellion. So it could just be the Bad Batch, but I feel we're going to see a lot more clones that we know, and I think that the centerpiece of the show will be their reaction to the rise of the Empire. But the most important question is, what do you guys think? Do you guys think we're going to see just the Bad Batch? Do you think we're going to see more clones? What do you guys think will be an interesting way for this series to go? Please do tell me in the comments down below. I love reading your comments. I'll respond to as many as I can. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed this content, please do subscribe for more. I'm trying to make more regular content. I had a bit of a hiatus there, but I should be back now. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.